In today's video, I had to fight off illness, extreme conditions, and much more in my first tournament back in over 3 months. Now, over the next weeks, I'm going to be competing here in Bali, Indonesia, and in Singapore to hopefully raise my ranking and get lots of good matches and experience. Now, the last few weeks have definitely been rocky with some injuries, but now I'm glad to be back on track towards my goal of becoming one of the best 1,000 players in the world. So let's see how this weekend went.
Can you give the people an update, Felix? What's happened in the last few days?
I had some barley belly, food poisoning. I think it might be the third time now. Third time in succession. I haven't played in about 3 or 4 days. So we're going to see how it goes. I still feel not great, a little bit tired, but we're playing on Sunday, so we've kind of got to hit a few balls. Otherwise, I'm going to get cooked. Right, guys, so it is the day before the match and the draw has just come out. So we're going to be seeing who we're playing tomorrow. I'm hoping it's not someone too good. I don't usually like to wish for a weak draw, but my body's been feeling it and I could really do with something that's a little bit ease me into it, you know? There we are, straight up, seed 2 in qualifying, playing a player from the US. There's only 2 rounds of qualifying this week. If I win that match, then I'll play the winner of these 2, wildcard and seed number 15. Let's take a look at this player. Pretty solid world tennis number. He used to have an ITF singles ranking of 1500. Basically, he plays college tennis, so a lot of his ITF stats won't really show his level because he doesn't compete too much. So I'm expecting a tough match. The conditions are tough. I'm expecting a grind, so yeah, gonna head to bed, but I'm excited. All right, so it's the night before now. Early night tonight, we've got to have breakfast at 7. I'm just getting everything prepared. It may look messy, but it's organized chaos, you know? Hats, towels, got all of my electrolytes and stuff. Got the caffeine ones. These are gonna be very much needed at 9:30 in the morning. I think physically I'm still getting to 100%, so I'm actually quite nervous to see how I'm gonna play. Gonna go out there, give it my all.
Vamos!
What a beautiful day. Just woke up, smashed down some electrolytes. Might have been raining, so it might get pushed back a little bit. It doesn't feel too hot though, because it's been a bit humid, so I'm very pumped. I'm excited. Mate, Jesus Christ. It's only been 2 minutes.
Pretty early this morning, right?
I don't even have an omelette station set. That's such a first world problem.
They don't even have an omelette station set up. Bro just loves eggs.
You're a bit relaxed, man.
Vamos!
He's leaning back.
I'm too big.
Nah, it's raining outside right now as we're in the taxi, so whether our match gets pushed back, maybe. Last time they had a lot of people drying the court, so it might still be the same.
That's what we call wet.
What's the update, Felix? A little bit of a rain delay. Match has been pushed back to 10. I don't know if we're even going to get an on-court warm-up because they'll probably just dry until they're ready to go. So as long as it doesn't start raining, we're just going to chill in the gym here. We've got about an hour, so get a little bit of a warm-up in, head back to the courts and get going. In the gym, I did a couple of activations for my shoulder and my wrist, just making sure that I'm strengthening it every single day, and also to get myself in the right headspace for the match. Yes guys, so about to go on. Got myself a beetroot and guava juice and also got some coffee. Get that hydration and caffeine in. I'm pumped, let's go. So starting off this match against my opponent, I knew it was going to be tricky. You know, he had played a lot of matches and I wasn't feeling physically still too great. I'd say that I kind of felt a little bit uncoordinated, a little bit hot, but I came into the match with the mindset of I'm going to focus on trying to win. I'm going to focus on kind of what I can control. You know, this isn't going to be the main focus. We're going to try and play every single point, keep fighting and give it the best that I've got. I can't control anything else. And at the beginning of this match, you know, was able to kind of keep it pretty close, finding some space there, looking to try and get an early break. The courts that we're playing here were super slow. They were also using Dunlop Aussie Open balls, which kind of fluffed up and became quite heavy pretty quick. So kind of good for those longer rallies, but especially in the state that I felt, balls like that where I'm kind of pushed on the wide, I just didn't feel comfortable to kind of keep in the rally. And against kind of an opponent who's going to move me around well, who could really, you know, put passes against me, it was going to be quite tricky. And you know, in this game here, really going 30-15 down, I had to keep my concentration to try and find a way to stick myself in there. And 40-30 up was a great opportunity. Managed to hold it out and kind of keep it really close at the beginning of this match. You know, in qualies, you know, it can, you know, with the flick of a switch, 1 or 2 points can really change the beginning of the match. And I really wanted to just hang in there. This was a huge point here at 30 all. I knew it was going to be really important to kind of put balls in play, great return, nice depth there, and really just wanted to kind of test my opponent to see, you know, if he's going to be able to kind of outmaneuver me a little bit. You know, I definitely wanted to not go for too much. I was keeping it pretty consistent there on the backhand side. the forehand, kind of slightly mistiming it a little bit, but he finds the space kind of back behind, gets me on the stretch, comes up, plays a winner on the short ball. And points like that, you kind of have to say too good. I kind of ask the question of him, puts in a good serve, I go down 3-2. And here's where physically really began to kind of feel it, the heat, the humidity, the conditions, but I really wanted to just show some grit, stick in there. But shots like that really didn't make it easy. I mean, my opponent bringing, you know, a much higher level on, you know, big points like that made it tough for me to just have the mindset of stick in the rally, because I kind of knew, you know, my opponent's just going to keep moving me around. I'm going to get more and more tired, and you know, ending up missing and going down 5-2 at this beginning of this first set. I knew it was going to be a really tough way back in this first set, but was still giving 100%. Just outrageous passing shot there from Jonathan. Again, just kind of coming up with it. I didn't feel like when I was approaching the net, he was struggling as much as I kind of hoped that he would. You know, balls like that landing on the line, yeah, was actually, you know, finding it really tricky, and sudden add point down here, kind of double faulted. Camera angle's moving for this one. There was a little glass screen, you know, which you're going to be watching through, but I kind of like this court angle actually. The beginning of the second set again was similar to the first. Really wanted to just try and stick in there as much as possible. I really felt like this was a match that if I can get through, I'm going to feel better and better each day. I was definitely improving more and more since kind of having the food poisoning, but I think it was just unfortunate that it kind of happened quite soon to the event. And my opponent getting a break point here, I really just wanted to make sure that, you know, I kept in this point, in this rally, just give myself the chance to try and hold here. You know, I think that was going to be pretty crucial. And again, just trying to go for a little bit too much on that backhand line. Yeah, I don't know, physically feeling it, trying to just, you know, now mix in the drop shot, mix him into the net a little bit more, see if I can get some free points. But at this point, I really, I don't know, I was really struggling. And the Juice here really just trying to be aggressive, and just shots like that, you know, made it really tricky for me to come back, and ended up losing this match. I think I expected a little bit based on my preparation, still extremely frustrating.
So I had a little bit of time to reflect since the match. If you'd have asked me how I would have expected it to go, that's pretty close to how it is. He came in with a lot of matches, he kind of knew the courts, didn't do anything special, served pretty good on the day. Yeah, just the feet weren't in the right place a lot of the time. I was mistiming, you know, mixture between being rusty and being fatigued. Body's still not at 100%, and usually I can feel that with my movement. It's one of my strongest suits. I'm more angry at something I couldn't control. I couldn't really control how bad the effects of getting food poisoning were, to a certain degree obviously. Doing a little stretch, but also I'm going to get in a gym session. I think really one of the biggest things in tennis is being in shape, and I'm in pretty decent shape, but I want to be like unbelievable shape. I think that's something that I'm really going to hold myself accountable for. Let's go, get ready for the next week. We've still got doubles coming up, so I've got a bit of time to prepare for that. Let's make it a banging week, playing with my boy Jack. Get back on the grind, as with anything in life.
Doubles day today, first round. Feeling pretty good. It's a little bit overcast. I'm hoping it doesn't rain. Try and get the week rolling in the doubles. You know, that's going to be important to start off on a positive note. Never lost the first round doubles in Bali, so keep that streak going. You know? So this week I'm playing doubles with Jack Loutit, a New Zealand Davis Cup player, ranked around 1,000 in the world. He also plays for Kentucky University in America. A very, very strong doubles partner, and I was excited to kind of kick off our campaign here. First round we were playing against two players from India. We really wanted to kind of kick it off pretty well. We never played together, so as you know, I'm sure you know, if you play tennis, playing with a new partner is always different. You don't know how they play, what they like to do. But I think me and Jack did a pretty good job pretty early on. On these courts, they were pretty slow, so playing from the baseline worked really well. And also just being aggressive kind of at the net, you know, looking for opportunities, hustling, you know, as we did, and putting away smashes like that. And of course, sudden death juice. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the scoring system in the ITF and most doubles now, it's 1 point decider at juice, which is obviously super important. You know, if you can take a couple of juice points, it really makes a huge difference. I really enjoy kind of serving and volleying. Jack wasn't as much of a fan on his service games, which is fine. You know, I can poach at the net, he can rally from the baseline, felt super confident there. But I really like kind of coming in. Great lob here. You know, and we had a pretty good start in this match, going up pretty early with a pretty convincing scoreline. Here at 5 Love, our opponents kind of turned it on a little bit. They began to kind of
get back into this match a little bit. And I think it was new balls at 7 and 9, so new balls after this game. Really trying to, as much as possible, hustle, as you can see. Not quite doing enough there, but we get a set point here at 5-1. Great return from our opponents, and sudden death juice point once again, getting the net cord. A little bit unfortunate from us, so really didn't want to let them back into this set. I think in doubles, momentum plays a big role. You see kind of 3-game swings pretty regularly. We wanted to make sure that we didn't kind of let them back into it. And here again, another sudden death juice point at 5-2. So it's going to be pretty important we can kind of keep it together. I missed the volley, of course I do. 5-3, Jack on serve. I knew he kind of delivered the goods. They played a pretty good game, but overall we managed to take the first set. In the second set, super important to kind of stay focused in tennis. There's big momentum shifts, so the first couple of games are always key. If you can kind of get ahead, it can dampen your opponent's spirits a little bit. I think one other thing that between my wrist injury, being super busy around Wimbledon, doing loads of other stuff, and obviously training, I haven't had a chance to kind of compete in too many practice matches, real matches, doubles matches, and so that's kind of why I'm happy to kind of be back out here competing. I know that it's going to be a little bit of a process to kind of get that match feeling back and kind of get used to it. But I mean, crazy reaction volley as I'm speaking. But I think that you have to be a little bit lenient on yourself and kind of set expectations. Haven't been competing as much, haven't been training as much as I actually would have liked, for some kind of reasons which I can explain at another time. But obviously, bearing that in mind and just going in there with an open mindset of understanding those variables. I think, if you go on court and you're training, no matter what your level is, and your diet hasn't been great, or you're a bit exhausted, or you have a cold, or you're ill, you kind of just have to expect a different level. And having a mentality which allows you to do that, and having a kind of freeing mindset really does make a difference to your game. And obviously, then kind of recovering and playing more matches does make a huge difference. And so I think that's kind of the situation I'm in here. Really just trying to enjoy the moments on court. Now, as you can see here, it's actually beginning to rain. Now, me and Jack were so keen to get off the court here and finish. Like, we're absolutely rushing. I absolutely stack it here at the net. Again, crazy, like slipping around with my foot there, as you can see again. Like, it is getting really wet, but we basically just didn't want to kind of come off court, have a 2-hour rain delay pretty much. So this game here was going to be really important to try and win it. We got 30 love, which is a very positive start. Get past down the line, maybe a little bit eager to kind of cross, and we actually go break points down here, which wasn't ideal. It was literally raining only a small bit, and kind of surprising me with that forehand inside and down the line. And here at 5-all again, we're not rushing, but we're really trying to kind of close it as fast as possible, and maybe opening up some gaps which shouldn't have kind of been there, being a bit too eager to poach. You can see me slipping once again there, but you're doing a pretty good job of kind of adapting, knocking off that volley. We get a break point here, very, very good return, nice deep ball, and now it's my chance to serve it out here. Let's see if I can manage to serve it out, and we get the match point. I remember this point being crazy. Knock it off with a smash, and we take the first round win. Bit of a relief, but I was happy to get it done. And with that win, we gained a further 2 ATP points for reaching the quarterfinals of this event. We also doubled our prize money to $90, so big money. But next round, we can really play for a spot in the semis and some serious points. I think good first round match. Couldn't really get a grip of their serves. Like, literally, you have to hit the return so hard. I've never ever had to hit my backhand that hard to just get the ball over the net. It's outrageous. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it, and yeah, gonna go back, get a good stretch in, eat some good food, and get prepared for tomorrow.
So basically, the first day, or the day Felix played singles, there's basically just stuff everywhere that like stops you from filming. So I had to be creative. But no, yeah, the doubles was good. I think we showed them Nusa tonight. The restaurant, restaurant we have every single dinner at.
Starting with the chicken skewers, very nice. Grant gets this every single day.
Chicken skewers, it's a staple. It's good protein straight to the biceps.
Warm,
Like a very solid 7, I'd say.
I push it to an 8. Onto the main, beef ragu pappardelle. Looks banging. Came before Grant could even finish his skewer, so see how good this is. A little bit of parmesan on there. Oh, that's nice. Homemade pasta, a little bit garlicky. Solid 7. Get the carbs in as well. Carb up before you play matches the next days. Main course, the chicken. It's top tier meat. Right guys, so day 2 of doubles. Jack just played a long match and unfortunately lost in the third. So I know he's going to be feeling it, so job's on me to carry a little bit today. Both of the opponents today Japanese, who are traditionally pretty good at the net. So we're going to get a little bit of a warm up in, but I'm excited. We can see what we do, see if we can go take the W. One of my favourite warm-up drills is basically me going inside out, like pretending I'm approaching, and then looking for like a short volley or like a block volley.
Re-gripping the old stick.
Kind of dodgy that is. I don't like to overlap on the bottom layer in 2-layer gripper. So quarterfinals was against the seed number 3, 2 players from Japan, who traditionally are usually pretty good at dubs, like having solid hands and stuff like that. So we knew it was going to be difficult. We tried to really be aggressive early on, kind of coming in with a signature knock-off volley. Jack was a little bit cooked, as he kind of told me, but we really wanted to just give it our best shot, you know. And that we did early on. Couple sudden death juice kind of points. Again, missing that forehand. I was really mad at myself for that. Got to stick it in the cross. But with that being said, we kind of got the feeling that whenever we kind of went to them at the net, they were knocking off a lot of the volleys. So when you kind of noticed that pretty early on, as you can see, you know, we then decided in our return games just to go big cross and try and do the same. You know, play a lot of eye, look for the ball as much as possible. As you can see, really just try and take the ball out of their court a little bit. And here at 3-1, we knew this was going to be an important game to try and, you know, claw back a little bit of that momentum. I think that was going to be really important. And you know, as you can see, sometimes you've got to test them on that line ball, but great return there from me onto the line, taking a bit of a risk. And I said, I'll take this one. I wanted to kind of come in and really getting rewarded for that, getting the break back. And now we're evens. I think with kind of Jack's, you know, feeling, it was definitely better when he was at the net, like pulling off crazy volleys like that, than trying to just grind from the baseline. And as much as possible, try and go big serving to kind of keep the rallies as short as possible. I think the level of this match was really high, insane, you know, volleys from them, really just being switched on from us, trying to play kind of very traditional dubs, and a crazy scoop volley there from me. I don't even know how I did that. But again, crazy pass from our opponent, Roger Federer-esque, and you know, again, go down the break for 5-3, and again we're faced with a, you know, a difficult position, kind of have to break back here, but we didn't let that kind of get us down. I think kind of sneaking into the net from me worked really well, actually. I should have potentially done it a little bit more. We do get the break back, and here it's just about trying to fight to try and take this set. I actually felt that this match was probably one of the highest level matches I've played in doubles. Every single point was pretty solid. Everyone was trying to be clinical, coming across, not a lot of cheap errors. You know, these baseline rallies were almost very tricky to kind of come across. As you can see, his opponent almost faking them out. Me kind of being ready there at the net, then putting in literally a ball onto the baseline. Jack not quite making that. And this point was going to be absolutely crucial here. These next two, 30-all, you know, points potentially for the game. And good volley from me, taking it, but we still go to a sudden death juice. Get absolutely blasted at the net. Maybe should have kind of come across, and then Jack's in that cross-court rally, you know, on the forehand side, gets pushed wide, tries to go for a bit too much, and we end up unfortunately losing the first set. Now, you know, as sets go, I think it was a pretty solid level and much better than I was expecting. I think Jack said here he was getting warm, and then we began absolutely smoking these returns. I think we had some really positive energy going into the second set, which is really important in doubles. It's a lot about energy. You know, if you're playing, you really want to be pumped, high energy, and that's what a lot of the best teams in the world do. And as you can see here, really trying to get the pump out, and this sudden death juice was super important to try and you know, keep that lead in this second set. Just missing that wide kind of gave us a bit of an opportunity, and At this point, I really don't know kind of what came into them, but they just began painting the line on the down the line shots, really making it tricky, kind of running around on their serve. So they managed to get a break back, but we didn't want to let that kind of affect us at all. We really wanted to just kind of keep fighting. Big smash, and they somehow make it back onto the baseline. Insane dig from them. You know, this would have been a good point to have, and again, finding that down the line ball, making it really tricky to kind of come across, because when someone's burning you up the line every single time, you really just don't want to move across too much, you know. But this set was definitely super competitive, and here at 3-all, the level began to get silly. Once again, burning me on that down the line, literally landing perfectly in the corner. And again, I mean, I really didn't take myself for a bad doubles player. Like, I felt a little bit silly that they were just kind of getting me every time. I almost had like a whole foot inside the tram line, and you know, they literally had to hit the spot every time, and they did end up getting the break because of it. And here, as you can see, kind of 5-3, they get some match points on serve, and we don't quite manage to take it. But it's a further 2 ATP points in the bag, and overall, I'd say a pretty solid week.